Holla, Clawdeena9 here. Today I have partnered up with the free photo editing app, Facetune2, to bring y'all a how I edit my photos video, plus Ariel makeup tutorial. Clearly, like, who else would this be? No, I swear I did not use any snarf blats in the process of this video. So a ton of people have been asking me how I edit my photos and keep them looking so crisp and clear on my IG because the feed has been looking mighty good, if I do say so myself. Since DragCon May, I did a panel with Facetune2 that is, and Facetune2 has been keeping my photos looking snatched. Here, look at this photo right here. Right? So I'm going to show y'all how I edit my photos at the end of this video, but y'all can also watch the makeup tutorial because I know y'all love that little portion as well. So at the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a live Facetune2 editing tutorial. Yes, I'm going to expose myself and everything that I edit during my videos. So if y'all keep on watching, I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit. We got to start this tutorial. I have to take off these eyebrows. I just wanted y'all to see me looking a little cute. Yeah. Let me go ahead and wipe off these brows. The misconception about shaving off your eyebrows is that they're like gone. Like, no, they be coming back in every day. And that's why you need Facetune to get rid of those little brow hairs because, girl, it's like the little things that really ruin a picture. And it's like, girl, me seeing a little brow hair in my picture, girl eye. People always want to ask why
do you shave off your eyebrows? Like, I don't understand.
I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just shave them off. And instantly better things came. I started getting PR. My channel thrived. My skin was getting better. I was a whole year older. Like, if I didn't shave off my brows, I would have stayed 14 forever. We don't want that. Like, people say shaving never changes anything. When I first shaved off my brows, it took at least like a month for them to grow back. Now, every day they grow back. Every day. Anyways, we're taking our Laura Mercier hydrating primer because we're doing a Little Mermaid look, and so we have to be hydrated. All right, so despite Ariel being traditionally stunning, we have to take her to like the next level. Like, y'all gotta remember, this is Halloween season. We wanna be sultry. Taking our Tarte Shape Tape, we are beginning with a good priming base for our eyeshadow. What I'm looking at for reference is the interpretation of Ariel. Like, ultimately, I don't know if y'all ever heard Kanye say this, but I want to say very wisely said, I am Walt Disney in the flesh, but Britney Spears in the spirit. And that really resonated with me, and I'm not kidding. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but look it up because he definitely said something along those lines. And I was like, okay, I mean, same. Not gonna lie. Now we're taking our Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This is the original 35. This is the original. So we're gonna take the new one because the old one looks busted. And we're just gonna put on our eyeshadow here. So I am going to start off with the deepest shade that I'm gonna be using here. And that is gonna be this dark. I'm gonna start with the middle deepest shade that I'm going to be using here, and it's this golden bronze. I don't know what's wrong with me today, but apparently a lot. I'm going to be putting on Pookie above my crease. And obviously we're using a lot today because we are just acting a damn fool. So this is the Morphe E27 brush. This has been my go-to brush for the past couple months. Ow! But it's been one of my go-tos. I just feel like it really is fluffy and blendy. But today it's poking me. Now, Ariel's eyes are very, very rounded. Mine are not. They're very almond shaped. In order to create that look, we're definitely gonna need to do a cut crease. I've seen some controversy lately about people saying like, oh, you don't need to be able to do cut creases to be a makeup artist. And I completely agree. But I think that in this day and age, like, doing cut creases is like an essential part to makeup because it's so transformative. Like contouring and highlighting, like, does everybody need it? No, but it's really cool as a makeup artist to know because you can literally transform somebody into anything. Like, have y'all seen my before and afters? Like, girl, Ariel's like eyebrow is like all the way on her forehead, I'm seeing, because she has a really cartoony face. She's not a girl, but not yet a woman. So she is Walt Disney in the flesh and Britney Spears in the spirit, just like Kanye. But she's my favorite character. So story time. Ariel's actually my favorite Disney princess ever. Considering Ariel's in the ocean, she's a little shallow and a little shellfish. I thought I was just so funny with that one, huh? She's a great representation for people, and which she's relatable. I get it. She's a relatable queen. But you see what I'm saying? I still love the entire Little Mermaid movie. The animation is one of my favorites. I know it's like clearly classic animation. Growing up, I had a red blanket from Disney, and I would wear it around the house as a wig. And how did they not know I was gay? Like, my family had to have known I was gay. Not that they're stereotypes, but you know. Like, I'm literally running around with my red blanket, pretending to be Ariel, jumping up on, like, couches and singing Party Your World. I would always buy the Ariel dolls growing up, like anyone that I could find. I remember having the holiday Ariel with the gold tail, and I would love putting her in the bathtub and just watching her hair flow. That's my favorite thing about the animation in the movie, or any Disney movie, really. Like, when Disney princess hair flows, like, wow, stunning. I'm going in with a deeper brown shade, also from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This is kind of what we're going to use to cut our crease. I think the deeper the shade, the more intense it looks. And I really love intense, deep looks. Ariel is not known to have a lot of makeup on, but the reference photo I'm looking at is very smoky, very dark. She's also underwater, so I'm assuming that the cosmetics is not huge. Then again, she literally was able to turn from fish to human. So you're telling me you could turn from fish to human, but you couldn't have waterproof eyeliner. One eye, kind of looking drastically larger, is the biggest mood. Whew. This has been happening a lot lately. Maybe because my left eye is like going blind. I don't know. But, oh, okay. Yes. Her. She's a little green. That's the gold we want today. 35M. I thought it had a name, like Boss Mood or something, but I guess not. So we're taking this. Now, when I do metallics, I like to spray the brush a bit with setting spray. Oh, okay, cute. I know it's like a tiny little bit, but I'm getting some good payoff. This is the gold we're going in with today. Brows are just one of those things that either you do them snatched or you don't. And it's like, it doesn't mean like all the time, but you know what I mean? Like, if you don't do them right, that look, you just don't. But here's the funny thing, is that if you don't do them right, that look, you're not gonna know until a couple weeks later when you look back at the photo and you're like, ugh, what was I doing with those brows? But then you think in the moment, this was hot, like this was a look. So it's like, brows are just so interesting, so wild, so crazy. So the Clawsomes already know. By the way, in case y'all don't know what that means, because I've never said it on my channel. So the Clawsomes are my new fam. You know, my family. Y'all who watch my videos, y'all are my Clawsomes. And the Clawsomes already know that my camera be a damn mess when it comes to just not recording. So yes, it stopped recording. And I don't know how much was filmed, but basically I'm going in with my Shoppy Toppy. That is my Tarte Shape Tape. And I am blending out. So earlier in the video, I talked about this being a partnership with Facetune2. And that is the photo editing app. Those of y'all who don't know what Facetune is, obviously you're a damn liar, because who doesn't know what Facetune is? Earlier back in May this year, I did a panel with Facetune2. Wow Presents did upload on their YouTube page. And then, you know, there was some great comments. I love y'all who actually went on there like, oh my God, Clawdeena, like, love to see you there. Thank you so much. So despite there being super amazing comments, which I really appreciate, there was a couple negative ones where people had something to say about, you know, so I said that for me, photo editing is a coping skill. And when I say that, I'm not saying like, oh, when I edit my face to be snatched, for example, that it makes me feel better about myself. No, I'm saying it is therapeutic, kind of like a coloring book, to go through and edit, to just tap. I think it's therapeutic to do that type of thing. So that's what I meant when I said editing photos is therapeutic. Secondly, I think that regardless of what anybody wants to say, photo editing is an art form. We don't hire photographers for weddings to take pictures and to edit them if it wasn't an art form. In that case, we would just take them with our own damn phones, because photographers Specific photographers know how to edit their photos to look a certain way, which makes their photos seem different from other photographers. So believe it or not, photo editing is an art form, hence why they have classes on photo editing, because it is, again, an art form with its own respect. So I think that there is a boundary. I think when you're editing your photos, you have to be confident with yourself. And am I saying editing yourself to look different means you're not confident? Absolutely not. Who knows? Out of 7 billion people in the world and babies being born with 2 heads, is it really that far off to think somebody's too different than you to be confident and edit their photos? No. When it comes to editing, I think you have to be mentally aware of the difference between the fantasy and the reality and kind of give your own perception on it. This is where it becomes an issue, is if you are building up defense mechanisms. There's defense mechanisms, there's coping mechanisms, and there's coping skills. So when you're building up defense mechanisms and coping mechanisms, you might lie to yourself and say, oh, I'm editing because I want to do something artsy. And then in turn, you are going to create a inferiority complex. You know, you're going to start telling yourself you're not good enough. So I think that's important to rationalize before you go on these types of apps and edit yourself. Personally, my favorite features on Facetune don't even have to do with editing your features. So I personally really love the relight feature, the touch-up feature, and the eyes tool. Specifically in the eyes, I love the reflection tool. I think the app developers realize that there's something aesthetically pleasing about there being a ring light or some type of reflection in your eye. So when I shut off the light, when there's no reflection in your eye, it doesn't look the same as when there is. And there's just something really, she's dying out, but there's something really pretty about there being a reflection in your eyes. So that's something that I love about Facetune2, is that one of their features is the eye reflection. I also like Facetune2 for the fact that it's very user-friendly. They do offer different things than Facetune, and it is completely free to use. They do have upgrade features, and I think that the upgrade features are well worth it for the simple fact that, like I said, people go to school to learn different photo editing techniques and tools, whereas Facetune is simple enough. It's pretty self-explanatory. The tools kind of do the work for you, but it's at your discretion. So you're choosing how things are maneuvered and manipulated in the photo. And I'll touch base on a couple of my other favorite parts of Facetune2 later in the video when I show you guys the live editing process of my photos. Yes, exposing myself. I'll show you guys how I edit my photos later, but let me go ahead and finish up this look. So now we are going to set, and I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier setting powder today. This is just their translucent powder. I don't know if this is their classic translucent powder because there is like a color tint to it. It's a little bit like golden. And I drag that down to my contour area because I noticed that sometimes if your face is too wet and you're using setting powder, you'll get like these weird setting powder lines. And I'm not with all that, so I make sure to drag it down. And I do not bake, so I just brush that away. Whew. That was a time and a place. So now I have this gel liner for under my eyes. This is by Pretty Little Thing. This has been my go-to gel liner lately. Maybe it's just because it's like the only one I have, but this is an angled brush and go across the waterline. Now, those of y'all who are watching who are new to makeup or just don't do things like this, I know it looks weird and it's like, how are you doing that? Over time, you just learn. I know it's not even. It's not like I purposely did that, but I know what I'm doing, so. And then I am taking a pencil brush with black eyeshadow on it, and I blur out the gel liner and smoke it down. And this just makes the eye really pretty. I don't know why, it just does. A yellow shade, or somewhat of a yellow shade, like an orange tinted shade, and I go under that black just to kind of contrast and make your eye look a little bit cooler. It's not quite what I was trying to do, but I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna assume that Ariel glows like the demi-goddess she is and uses the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dream Glow Kit to do so. So I'm gonna be taking the shade Sunshine. I know, like this palette is just amazing. Wow, great. It looks like King Triton literally took his spear and stabbed it into this highlighting palette, but that's neither here nor there. So we're taking our setting spray. Delicious. And just to touch back on that Facetune, girl. So highlighting is one of those things I feel like everybody always ends up editing because like look at how bright it looks like in the video, but photos never capture the brightness of highlighting, and I think it's that's like really bright. And I think it's due to the fact that highlighter is a reflective pigment. So it really depends on what angle you're looking at. And if you don't take it at an angle where your highlight looks bright, it's gonna look like you're not wearing what the hell? So apparently we're just doing that good old-fashioned unblended look today. And I think another thing is before you go ahead and blend your highlight, let it all set down, because I think that when you try to blend out your highlight and things are still wet, it just never works out in your favor. Trust and believe. All right, so now your lashes should be good and ready to go on your eyeballs. Okay, so now I'm going to get into my gigs, put on my wig, and I will show you guys the completed look. I'm a I have my mom here as Ursula, since I am doing my aerial looks.
Beautiful.
You could introduce yourself too, so you could say hi.
Hi, I'm Medina. How you doing?
Since you're here, I want you to do your... Bailey's also here flipping my tail for me since it wasn't working out exactly how we thought it would. Can you do your best Ursula impression for everybody?
She's like
Who's an unfortunate soul? Not me.
Girl!
Sing, Ariel, sing.
I hate that. All right. See, I told y'all all it takes is the costume to make it look good. It doesn't even matter what kind of makeup you be putting on. You know, I'm feeling the gig though. At first I was kind of like, but now I'm like, So yes, we have our treasure. And speaking of treasure, there's not a lot of days left, but I am doing a giveaway, giving away 2 DragCon tickets. So Facetune2 has been super cool and super generous with me. They are offering you guys, my Colossums, 2 DragCon NYC tickets. All you guys have to do is go on my Instagram to check out all the details. I'll leave the link down in the description. Also down in the description, I am leaving the link so that way y'all can get a download yourself because, girl, that's how I be keeping myself looking good. You know what I'm saying? Like, the video does wonders, right? Because I'd be looking good on video. I'd be looking good in person. But pictures, something about pictures, it doesn't capture this beauty. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just does not do me justice. So, and we are back with our live pictorial with Facetune2. Ugh, imagine if I actually talked like that. Disgusting. Just kidding. So, not really. But the Facetune2 app is completely free to download and use. So go ahead and download it free of charge with some in-app purchases. Here's my Facetune and Facetune2 app. So I'll go into Facetune. I actually have not used Facetune since my last phone. I've always been using the Facetune2 app. But as you can just see here, the entire layout is completely different than the Facetune2 one. As I scroll up and go back to Facetune2. So if we go back onto the app here, you can see that if you click on the top, right next to the Facetune logo, on the right, there's the landscape, and then you can click on whichever picture you took. Now this one I was kind of like just messing around with editing before. You can also click on the left, and that'll open up your front-facing camera, which we don't need right now, or pretty much ever. And then this is kind of like the help button where the support is here. It lets you know their Instagram, Facebook. And then like obviously you can click the quick tour, which will show you how to use the app itself. When I use Facetune2, I immediately go to a few of the features here. So for example, like the reshape feature, I really like that you're able to refine and reshape certain features. I think that a picture looks really good when the lips are completely even. I've always had an issue with symmetry when it comes to doing my makeup. So, this can be a really good way to fix that in pictures. So just if you do something simple like that, let's go over to the eyes tool. And I told you guys earlier in this tutorial about the eyes tool. So my favorite thing is to go in and use the reflection tool. And that'll kind of just add like a little bit of like, kind of like a lens flare to your eye. And then you tap to get rid of it, and then go back in, tap, reshape, tap again, and it's just that simple to do. And then you can adjust it. Girl, we ain't with all that. There we go. And I just feel like it makes your eyes, you know, really pop. Now, I'm personally not into lenses, contact lenses, even in real life, but they do have a feature here where if you wanted to, for example, Ariel has blue eyes. I don't own contact lenses. So it's really easy to just click on lenses, and then you could change the colors of your eye by reshaping it and readjusting to any really color. So let's just say you were to do that, whatever color you want, and then you can adjust it. Now, another one of my favorite features is the relight feature. So all you have to do is click, and it literally adjusts the lighting to make it look like that's where the lighting is coming from. Ooh, that looks really creepy, but like cool at the same time, an Ariel grotto moment. You can adjust it and the blend and everything, so that way it's a little bit more soft, a little bit more subtle, not too crazy if you don't want it so cinematic looking. Now, everybody always has flyaways. As y'all can see, you can see my lace a little bit. So another one of my favorite features here is if you go into the retouch tool and you click the smooth, you can go in and just get rid of all of that. And I feel like the smoother button is obviously more effective. I believe, I could be completely wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure the smoother button just like blurs things a little bit more than smooth. Sometimes you got a little bit of nose texture you got to get rid of, and then you can erase around certain areas. Personally, I think if you're contouring your nose or anything, you don't want to put too much blur around it because then it looks so airbrushed and fake. So when you blur, obviously sometimes it looks too angelic and too blurry. For example, if I'm to go here and I smooth everything, like you see how it looks like fake because it looks airbrushed, like it doesn't look right. So if you go to the retouch feature and then you click texture, then you can add texture over everything. It's kind of like a noise or a grain, and then you lower it, make it not too high, but then it'll make it look like, okay, it's all one thing. You want to put it over the entire picture. Like, don't just do it on your skin. And also, do not do that texture feature until the very end of editing. So we're going to go back to the texture feature after I'm done. Now, the paint feature is really cool because I always use it to lighten up. So sometimes if you're posing at a certain angle, see how it's like really light there, but if I tilt my head slightly, you can get some shadows or some darkness. So you go ahead and you use the lightest shade. You use the skin tool. You click skin, and then you brush on that lighter coloring. Especially, it's really good for under the eyes and things to get rid of bags or like. And then, of course, adjust. We don't want it to look too crazy. And then you can even use the reshape or refine tool. Say you want your hair to look more poofy. Sometimes you want to go in and give yourself some extra curl. But be a little careful because sometimes you'll be like readjusting things in the background and it does not be looking okay. There's also the light FX feature, which is like a lens flare that you can use. A lot of people really like this feature because it just gives it more of an aesthetic when you put a filter over it. So if you give it like a little lens flare of some sort, give yourself a little glow, that can always look really cute and cool. Personally, I think it looks cool if you take like this one, which is just blank, zoom in really big, and then you can adjust it to give yourself like a different lighting effect in your photo. Now, this personally does not fit my feed, so I'm not going to be doing all that. And then there's the before and after. So let's just say we're about to get rid of that because that's just not going to look right in my picture. Then once you are finished, you can go to the texture tool. Again, go in and give yourself all that texturing. I would say turn it up to 100 so you can see that you're getting everywhere. And then you can tone it down. So don't have it like too textured clearly. And then see, it just kind of makes everything look cohesive. But this video getting really long, so I'm gonna go through, really edit the house down, and then I'll show y'all my finished picture. So I hope y'all enjoyed that little video. Look at my new claws. So again, in case y'all didn't hear earlier in the video, because y'all be skipping through. Don't act like you're not me. We all do the same thing. We all skip through videos, so don't act brand new. I just clocked you skipping through the video. But anyways, in case you did not hear me earlier, I am doing a giveaway, so you can check out my Instagram and use hashtag Clawsomes to enter. Just post your favorite Facetune selfie, and I'll be seeing y'all at DragCon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, comment down below your thoughts, and subscribe. See ya!